guys, so this is a follow-up video to my quotient rule instructional video. I've linked it down in the description below, so feel free to give it a look before attempting the problems in this one. We're going to be using the quotient rule, formal definition right here, or as I like to use it, low d high minus high d low over low low, where low is essentially the bottom function and high is the top function and d means derivative. So with that, let's get right to it. Okay. Alright, so for number one here we have y equals 4x cubed minus 7x all over 5x squared plus 2. So to take the derivative, here we go, low 5x squared plus 2, d high, so derivative of the top, so that gives us a 12x squared minus 7, minus high, which is 4x cubed minus 7x, d low. So the derivative of the bottom just gives us 10x, right? And that's going to be all over low times low, which is going to give us 5x squared plus 2 times 5x squared plus 2. Okay, let's just clean that up a bit. So I'm going to distribute this all out up here. So again, like that. That's going to give us a 60x to the fourth minus 35x squared plus 24x squared minus 14 minus, let's see, just distributing that 10x out. So a 40x cubed, or sorry, to the fourth minus 70x squared on the top. Right, and that's going to be all over, of course, I'm just going to write this as 5x squared plus 2 squared. It's because we're multiplying this function by itself. All right, just to give myself a little bit more room, I'm going to erase this up here. All right, and I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. So simplifying the top, we're actually going to come out with this. So y equals 20x to the fourth minus 59x squared minus 14 all over, and then I'm not going to distribute the bottom just for time purposes, but feel free to do so if you need to. And that would be our final answer. Alright, so moving right along here. For number two, we have y equals 4 sine x over 3x. And again, don't be intimidated by the trig. Our steps are going to be exactly the same. So we're going to have y prime equals, let me do this in blue to stay consistent. So y prime equals low, which is 3x, d high, derivative of 4 sine x, is going to give us a 4 cosine x. And feel free to check out my video on trig derivatives if this looks unfamiliar to you. Minus high, which is 4 sine x, times the derivative of the low, which is going to give us a 3. All over low, low. So 3x times 3x. And just to clean this up a bit, we have, so it's going to give us 12, right? So 12x cosine x minus a 12 sine x all over 3x times 3x will give us a 9x squared. And there you go. That's our derivative. All right, so moving right along to number 3. Okay, so for number 3, I have here y equals 4e to the x minus x over 3x squared. All right, and again, I know it has an e in it, but not to worry, our process will be exactly the same. And just recognize that we have one function over the other. So we have to apply the quotient rule to take the derivative. All right, so y prime equals, so low, which is our 3x squared, times derivative of high, d high, So derivative of 4e to the x is just 4e to the x, right? And then minus 1 is the derivative of the top, minus high, so that gives us a 4e to the x minus x, times derivative of low, which gives us 6x using the power rule. Okay, and that's all going to be over 3x squared times 3x squared, low times low. All right, and just clean this up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that out. So we're going to get a 12e to the x squared minus a 3x squared minus, I'm going to keep that minus sign there and then just distribute this out first. So we're going to get a 24e to the x times x and a minus 6x squared. All right, and that's going to all be over 3x squared times 3x squared, which is going to give us a 9x to the fourth. All right, and I'm just going to erase this up here to give us a little bit more room to clean this up just a little bit more. Okay, so this is going to give us 12e to the x squared minus 3x squared. And I'm going to just distribute this negative through. So it's going to be a minus 24e to the x times x, and then minus times the minus, which is a plus 6x squared, all over 9x to the fourth. And just our final step over here, right? We just combine these like terms right here. So we're going to get a 12e to the x squared. A negative 3x squared plus a positive 6x squared is going to give us a positive 3x squared. Then minus 24e to the x times x, all over our 9x to the fourth. Okay, and you know, your teacher may not require you to go ahead and FOIL all of this out and distribute it and simplify. I've just done it so that you guys can see kind of the final answer, but any step along the way should be fine. All right, so I'm just going to erase this, and as we move on to our last problem for this video. All right, for the last one here, I have y equals 2 over 1 plus the natural log of x. Okay, all right, so same deal here. Y prime equals low, which is our 1 plus ln x, times derivative of high, and derivative of a constant gives us 0, minus our high, which is 2, times the derivative of the low. So to take derivative of 1 plus ln x, derivative of 1 is 0, plus derivative of natural log of x, which is 1 over x. Okay, and that's all going to be over low times low. So I'm just going to put this as 1 plus ln x squared. So essentially it's low times low, so 1 plus ln x times 1 plus ln x, which can be written as 1 plus ln x squared. Okay, so this whole top part here, this left side here, is going to give us 0, right, because it's multiplied by 0. So we're going to be left with negative 2 times 1 over x on the top, which is essentially a negative 2 over x if you multiply that out. And that's all going to be over a 1 plus ln x squared. Okay, and this can also be seen as like one fraction divided by another fraction if we just put this over 1, right? So again, going back to our dividing fractions, keep, change, flip. This is actually negative 2 over x times the reciprocal of the bottom function. So times 1 over 1 plus ln x squared, right? So we're finally going to be left with a negative 2 over x times 1 plus ln x squared. And there we go. That is our final answer. Alright, so that's it for this video. Hope this helped. If this helped you guys out, I'd really appreciate if you guys could just smash that like button for me. If you have any questions, as always, let me know in the comments down below, and see you guys soon.